morning. I think it's 7 o'clock or something like that. And today I decided that it was a great day to cut my bangs, mainly because they have grown more than I would like them to. I have this perfect length that I like to keep them at, which is shorter, but my hair tends to grow really fast, so I need to be cutting them quite often. I think the last time that I cut them was like a week ago, at the beginning of last week, and they've kind of grown a little bit more since then. And so I decided to cut them today, especially because the day is a bit cloudy, so usually the sun is coming through this window directly onto the mirror that I have here in front of me, and that kind of blinds me. So today that's not happening, so I thought it would be great for me to cut my bangs. I wasn't very used to cutting my own bangs, but I really don't like going to the hairdresser because I don't know, it's just weird sitting there, and like I'm not someone who is great at small talk or anything, so it's just very awkward silence. And then them trying to have a conversation with me and me being completely incapable of. So, yeah, I don't really visit the hairdresser quite often. My mom usually cuts my hair, and she was the one that originally helped me to give it a trim whenever I needed to. The last time that I went to a hairdresser was like a year and a half or 2 years ago when I actually decided to get my bangs. And I originally had like these longer curtain bangs. And I don't know what happened then. I just started cutting more. Well, first I asked my mom to cut more and more. And it eventually got to the point where it was like very short, straight bangs. And I really liked the way that looked. So now I'm trying to keep that look for as long as I can. I really love it. But for that, it's necessary for me to be cutting my bangs every 2 weeks, maybe, so that I can keep it at that length. It's just the perfect length. And sadly, my hair grows, well, I guess it's both a blessing and a curse that my hair grows so fast. But yeah, I would say probably more a blessing. I do have to accept that. But yeah, right now I'm going to be cutting my bangs. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, I have hair all over my face. I mean, I don't know. My biggest fear is to think that it looks okay, but it doesn't to the rest of the people. It's like, what the heck is she doing with her hair? But I think that's like a good length. It's gonna be all the way over here. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't go up that much. And I have been watching. Hold on. I've been watching a bunch of like TikTok videos where like hairdressers are having like these conversations with their clients to figure out what they want to do with their hair, and I really like that. I would like that. I think that in another life I could have been a hairdresser. I kind of like cutting the hair, says the girl who's really bad at small talk. I don't know, but I like to think that I would have been a great hairdresser, because I would be very specific about like I would really like to understand what my client wants and do something cool with their hair. I don't know. I will continue cutting my hair. I have this feeling that whenever I'm cutting my bangs, there's always like a couple new hairs that come in, and I end up cutting them from like the back of my hair, like the sides. And I don't know, I have this feeling that at the end, give it a year or two and I'm gonna be all bang. Just like Ignore my mirror, that is a total mess. I'm sorry. But yeah, just so that you can see it from the front. We got this, you guys. So I have been thinking for a while now that I wanted to give you a small studio tour, but I was kind of waiting for me to add more things into my studio so that I could really give you like a huge tour. However, I think that's probably going to take a while. I am slowly building up my space, and so I think that definitely choosing some of the things that I want to put in here is going to take some time. And right now I am focusing on other things, and so building a studio takes some time. But I do have some things that I would like to show you, and I also thought that it would be really nice to have this video for future reference. I would really love to come back into this video and look at how much this space has changed. Or I don't know, maybe I'm not even living here anymore by the time that I show you another studio tour. Maybe I have like a studio somewhere else. Maybe I'm not even doing art anymore. I don't know. But for now, this is what I have, and I would really like to show you some of it. And so, yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. I'm excited about it. Welcome to my desk. This is probably the space you're most used to seeing on my art vlogs, and it is pretty much where all of the magic happens. I am happy to see how it has evolved during this past year, considering I have changed my desk several times all across this room, and there is no corner this desk hasn't been on. But I finally settled for this cozy little nook. I try to keep things I use every day here, mainly my laptop and my to-do list notepad. I also bought this grate a while ago and recently started using it as a laptop stand, and I love it. It keeps my laptop ventilated and I can still use it as a storage space. I also keep my colored pencils here and my little son. I've also started adding prints and illustrations to help me feel inspired, and I have some of mine, but I also like balancing it with works of other artists I admire, and I hope I grow these two corner walls into a full-blown art gallery eventually. At the top of my flying shelf I have my pilea plant. I've been struggling a bit with her as of lately, but I am doing my best to understand her, and I keep learning how to take care of her. I also have a bunch of knickknacks that I love in here as well. Like this mini pan de muerto, which is a traditional type of bread made during the Day of the Dead holidays. This one, as well as the one that I'm about to show you, are some of my other miniatures I got from a nearby stationery shop. They have plenty of these, and I can't help but grab one whenever I go, so I try to not go there as often. I also have a little alebrije collection, which are traditional wood, paper, or cardboard fantastical creature sculptures. And they're from Oaxaca at the south of Mexico, but they can be easily found at gift shops all across the country. I get really happy feels from just looking at them, and I hope to continue collecting these on the following trips. This one is also from the stationery shop as well. Why are these Japanese products so cute? I found this one at my local corner shop and was very lucky because I haven't seen them there since. And I'm almost done with all of the candy. I only have chocolate flavored ones left, but I don't really like those, to be honest. This is a pottery piece I made for my Halloween collection last year. I made 2 of these. It's a little devil protecting its candle. It is my first pottery sculpture, and I had such a hard time with attaching the legs and the arms. And I think I mostly struggled figuring out how to make something that in my head was 2-dimensional into something 3-dimensional, because it originally was just a sketch, but I made it. I like to keep some of my favorite books here as well. Most of these are mangas, graphic novels, or picture books, but I do have a couple of books that are just regular books. Like this set of Japanese stories, which I bought when I was learning Japanese. But I've honestly been avoiding it, and I've just read the beginning of one story and then gave up. Hopefully one day I'll get to it though. One of my favorite books to browse through is this set of sketch doodles from Alexis Moyano. I think his style is so loose and fun, and it has a lot of personality. I also love watching the videos he often posts online, and I'll show you a couple pages only because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, this is what I wish my sketchbooks looked like, at least a part of them. The Tiger's Wife is one of my favorite book covers ever. I honestly don't know why. I think I really like the layout and the contrast between the black and the tiger. It feels very classic, and it jumped at me when I first learned of the book. And it's been a while since I read it, so I don't really have a full memory of what it is about, but I do remember it being of several stories with different characters all across time, and it had a very magical realism feel to it. In general, I like to keep this space surrounded not only with my working tools, but also with objects that help me remember why I like doing art in the first place. It's happened to me before that my working space becomes very stressful to even look at, and I don't want that happening here, so I feel like having all these special, meaningful items help with also making it into a space where I can de-stress and feel inspired. Now, welcome to my shelf. I placed this shelf right behind my desk for now, and I think I mentioned it before in another video, but I like the feeling of enclosing my space into a little nice nook. And it also helps me to keep my desk from being too crowded. I have a basket with stationery for packing orders, some plants, and I also like to display here my finished pottery pieces. I also have these baskets I painted in white where I keep my current sketchbooks and pencil cases. I also have a little Totoro that a friend gifted me a while ago. These two art books I placed here because I felt they looked fancy displayed here. I have this Monet one that I don't remember where I got from, but bought because I like looking at Impressionist art a lot. And I find it very calming to the eye, and I like the way nature is depicted and how some elements are only suggested with a couple of brush strokes. I don't know, it's really satisfying to look at. And I have this other one from Sofia Echeverri. I had the pleasure to visit one of her art exhibitions at the museum, and her work really spoke to me. She uses a lot of vibrant colors, and her work has powerful messages on our relationship to nature, on women, feminism, and Mexican folklore in general. When I first met her work, this book wasn't out yet, but the moment I learned about it, I kept going back to the museum to see if it was out yet, until it did. It definitely is a very special art book to me. I have this other basket that holds the zines I've collected so far. Some of these are mine, but I do hope I get to grow the collection with more artists with time. I love seeing people self-publish their own work. I remember when I was a kid, I used to staple a bunch of paper sheets together and called myself an author. And I feel that as I grew up, this little dream of mine felt more and more distant, or at the very least, more difficult to achieve. But I honestly nowadays feel that these artists have proved otherwise and really talked to the kid inside me that dreamt about publishing her own stories back in the day. This is why my zine collection is everything to me right now, and whenever I do go to an art market, I try to scout for new zines, and I always try to have some little savings specifically for that. And I don't know, maybe once I have enough, I'll make a video to talk about some of them, or maybe all of them, at more length. I would really love doing that and sharing some of the zines I've had the pleasure to purchase so far. And there's a little monkey from a Los Angeles Japanese bookstore that I kept because I thought it looked nice. And I will show you right now, but down below my zine collection, I have my Ranma manga collection. I remember I used to watch this anime as a kid when I was back from elementary. I think that Rumiko Takahashi's work is top tier, and I hope that I can finish collecting all the Ranma series someday because they are a lot, so I hope that I get to do that. And I also have my lovely complex small collection, and I would love to finish collecting all of them as well. And lastly, my ceramic wheel. This one was a gift from my mom when I had just started taking pottery seriously. So I guess thank you, Mom, for supporting all of my crazy art ideas. There's also this closet on the other wall where I keep all of the things that I don't know where to put, or all the materials I use for shop orders. And I would show it to you, but it is a disaster. So maybe one day I'll organize it and show it to you then. This is the other side of the studio. I don't really have much here. I am hoping we can get another desk eventually, which I think would look perfectly next to the shelf. And by the way, the shelf is one that I gave to my boyfriend, but since he doesn't use it as much, I like putting my working pottery pieces here to dry. I have my brushes and some plants and extra stuff I use on and off at certain times. I also have some extra illustrations I'm figuring out where to put from Maldito Perrito and Alejandra Uriar respectively, but meanwhile they're helping me to make these empty spaces look pretty. Nina's play tower is also here. She likes looking through the windows, so I figured this was a great place for it. And this pretty much concludes my studio tour. It was fun sharing with you my workspace. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I hope that in the future I can make another one with updates on how the space has changed. Full disclosure, I did forget recording an outro for this video. I'm really sorry. And so right now as I'm editing, I realized that I didn't have an outro. And that felt really weird. I thought about leaving it like that, but it did really feel very strange to leave without saying thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, that I really hope that you enjoyed this little studio tour that I prepared for you guys. It has definitely been one of the videos that I wanted to do for so long. Way back when I wasn't even making videos and I used to watch a lot of other artists' art vlogs. Watching their studio tours was so fun to me because it felt like it was a little window into their life, as into their creative lives, and to see all of the elements and things that they surrounded themselves with in order to feel creative or to help themselves to do better work or just to inspire themselves. You know, like it inspired me back. So yeah, I really enjoyed watching those videos, and now that I decided to do one of my own, you know, I know that this video isn't necessarily as, I don't know what I would say. I know that I don't have that many things yet, and that the studio still, you know, that there are a lot of things that I still want to do to this space. But as for what it is right now, I'm really happy with all of the new things that I've added into this space. And I think I have enough things already around me that inspire me every day, whether it is books or plants or like my Zine collection, some of my favorite illustrations. This one is the most recent one, which is by Tori Press. I really love it. It's just a bunch of like little raccoons working at a research studio, and I really love it. It's so vibrant and colorful, and every time that I come into the room, it's the first thing I see, and I really love that. And I want to make this wall grow in terms of like putting much more artwork in here, and so I'm so excited to see that. But as for now, this is what I have, and I'm very happy to share it with you. And hopefully it inspires some of you to create your own little spaces and to just realize that it doesn't have to be this huge space with so many things. It can be a small space, a little corner like the one I have, with a couple things that really mean a lot to you. Yeah, I just wanted to share this space with you guys and let you know what some of these things that are with me mean to me. And yeah, I don't know, leave a comment down below if there are like some books that inspire you, some artists that you keep their work near you to get inspiration or to feel happy. I would love to know some of those. And yeah, I hope that in the future I get to make another studio tour, maybe with some changes, major changes, maybe with some small changes. But yeah, I definitely hope that I get to do that in the future. And I am very excited to be in that future, looking back at what this place looks like right now. So anyways, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much for watching.